Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off Band. There is so much to talk about in basketball today. It has just been a crazy postseason, and I promise you, for everyone who is viewing this, I will get to this in the video. I'm Jacob Stotsky.
And I'm Hansel.
What's going on, everyone? Well, first, let's talk about the Hawks versus the Sixers and how good Trae Young has been in these playoffs. Just unreal.
I love watching him. That man's been a beast. He's been the villain we needed.
I mean, he could do anything. He could score, he can pass, he can steal the ball.
He can't play defense, but that's okay. Yeah. They don't need it.
Well, offensively, I mean, he could do mostly everything offensively.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they have other defenders. They have John Collins, They have a Clint Capella, who's an elite defender, in my opinion. So
true, no.
They got pretty solid.
And they have Solomon Hill playing a solid 20, 25 minutes a game. And he's just a good defender there too. Like Donovan Mitchell isn't a bad defender either, and he's also a great playmaker to help out Trae Young when Trae Young is getting double teams and needs an extra playmaker there,
Yeah, and even Huerter is pretty good at stealing the ball. I had him on fantasy, and he got me a fair amount of steals. I picked him up off and on because there were points in time when he had little bits of value here and there. But sometimes he was good at stealing the ball. He has potential,
No, I get that. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, no, that team is just filthy. They have a solid starting five. They have a solid bench. They could just do everything offensively, mostly defensively, except for Trae Young. But it doesn't even matter because they hide him really well. They're doing what the Celtics did with Isaiah Thomas. And yeah, I think they have a solid chance against the 76ers if they could just keep playing well.
Yeah.
And the only issue with the 76ers is just Ben Simmons' dominance on defense and Joel Embiid's dominance on offense. And then if Seth Curry and Tobias Harris keep playing well, it's going to be a tough series for Trae Young.
Yeah, I mean, he could shoot, that's for sure. And I'm telling you, even if Ben Simmons could I just don't understand why Ben Simmons can't get a jump shot. The guy is unreal, talent-wise. If that guy got a three-point shot and a free throw shot, he shot at least 80% from the free throw line and at least 35% or more from the three.
Honestly, at least 70. The man shoots at 50.
Right, he'd be a top 10 player in the NBA.
Even 70 would be good.
No question, he'd be a top 10 player in the NBA.
Of course. Also, I need to mention, he got robbed for Defensive Player of the Year. I do not think Rudy Gobert deserved it. Don't get me wrong, he did lead the Jazz to the first seed. But so did Ben Simmons with his defense for the East.
I think it's close because the West is a better conference, and the fact that they're number one in the West, and Gobert as a rim protector is ridiculous.
Yeah, Ben Simmons could just
blocking machine.
Ben Simmons could both defend the rim and defend the perimeter, though. And honestly, aren't we tired of Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green being always the top 3 finalists? Come on, we need someone else winning the award.
That's fair.
I think that Ben Simmons deserves it.
That's fair.
But oh well, it happens though. Ben Simmons doesn't deserve to win as a guard though. He deserves to win as a big man because that's what he is. He is not a guard. I don't care how much handles or passing he has. I'll never recognize him as a guard.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that's going to be a really good series. But let's talk about what so far has not been such a good series, and that is the Nets versus the Bucks. I mean, they didn't even have James Harden for game 2, and they still couldn't do anything. I mean, what's going on? Giannis can't make a free throw. It's like Ben Simmons 2.0. Giannis has won MVPs without a free throw and a consistent three-point shot. Imagine if he had that. Even if it's just slowly progresses, the guy would be a superstar. There's no question about it.
No, yeah, for sure.
I thought the Bucks were going to match up well against the Nets, but so far it hasn't because I thought maybe they get a lot of offensive rebounds in this series like they did against the Heat because, I know Blake Griffin's been playing solid and all of that, but the Bucks are taller. I thought they were going to take advantage there, but it hasn't really been working for them. So
I think what the Nets are doing right is, other than the fact that they have 2 dominant scorers just running the show. Without James Harden, they don't need him, honestly. They have Blake Griffin, they have just a bunch of players, but what they're doing really well is they're just, instead of focusing on Giannis, they're focusing on Middleton. I think that's just genius offensively. Giannis scores points and I'm like, all right, we're just gonna guard everyone else. And then Giannis now has to struggle because he can score as many points as he wants. But if Giannis can't shoot and he keeps driving in the rim with them having 2 rim protectors, eventually it's not sustainable. And Middleton getting locked up and then Holiday getting locked up, it's just hard on them.
I mean, it's a problem when the fact that Kevin Durant, when he was asked the question, oh, did he think he was going to recover and be 100% again? When he said, why are you asking me that question? That got more media coverage than anything that's been going on in the series. And it's just crazy how bad of a series it's been. And to be honest with you, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too. The Nets right now are favored to win, and it's their championship to lose.
I mean, what else can you say? I mean, even Joe Harris can shoot. Blake Griffin has shown he's still got a little bit of Blake Griffin left in him. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like his normal self, but he's shown glimpses here and there of his normal self. So that's a scary sign for the rest of the NBA too, because even if he's half of what he was, they're unbeatable.
Especially because he's probably their fifth best player in the team.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
Joe Harris can shoot also. I mean,
yeah,
that guy's a shooter.
The Nets are just gonna win it probably, unless I don't know who could compete against them right now. But we'll see what the West has to offer. Right now it's Clippers Utah. That's just one of the series going on. Who do you think is gonna win?
I think Utah in 6.
Utah in 6?
I think.
Was it because of yesterday's game, or was it because that's what you always thought?
No, that's what I always thought. I'm telling you, I think Donovan Mitchell is a great playoff player, and he's really good in the clutch. I know Kawhi is too, but Pandemic P showed Pandemic P again. And that's very concerning if you're a Clippers fan.
I don't know about that, man. For me, like, as much as I love Donovan Mitchell and as much as I know he's going to average 40 points a game, which is like a given because he's just that good, he honestly has to rely on his other team to score the rest of the points. And I don't know. It's going to be tough for Utah because the Clippers are a very, like, defensive-heavy team. So is Utah, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. It really just depends. It depends on a lot of things. I think it's a Game 7 series. I think it can go to any team, really. And if it goes to a 3-2 with Utah up, it's going to be tough because Kawhi Leonard's going to go off like he did with the Mavs.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's going to happen.
What I would say is that don't underestimate Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs either. I mean, this dude in the bubble.
I'm not. I'm saying he's averaging 40. 40 is like, that's a great amount. That's if you're averaging 40 points a game, you're goated. But I'm just saying everyone else is the people who need to score because they still need to score like 100-something points a game.
Right, but I think Mike Conley is capable of scoring for them, and he's pretty good at like not turning the ball over, and he has a good shot selection. Gobert's a good defender.
Of course, you have Mike Conley, you have Jordan Clarkson, you have good scorers. But what I'm trying to say is that Mike Conley, he didn't play last game, and they still won miraculously, honestly. But if Mike Conley plays next game, they have a way better chance. But it's gonna be a close game. Clippers just have it good. The only issue I have with the Clippers is their coaching. Ty Lue, I do not think is a good coach. I think he just runs too much ISO ball, 5-out plays. Gives the ball to like either Kawhi or Paul George, tells them to do whatever they want. If they're not playing, Reggie Jackson just shoots a dumb shot. That's usually what it is. And that's the only reason why I honestly think Utah has a fat chance. But even then, if Kawhi and Paul George are hitting their shots, though, it's anyone's game.
Right. But here's the problem. Pandemic P could return at any time. And I mean, he already did the first game, and it wouldn't shock me if he stayed Pandemic P for the rest of the series, So, I mean, I guess we'll see.
He's going to start hitting the side of the backboard and just, doing great there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But, it's hard to rely on Paul George sometimes in the big moments, and that's concerning if you're a Clippers fan. And that first game was very concerning because they're going to need him to win the series. In my opinion, he's the X factor because Kawhi is going to get his points and he's going to play good defense and all of that. But Paul George is the biggest difference, I think. I think he needs to play well if they want to win that series.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Now, to the Phoenix-Denver series.
Of course.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Nikola Jokic with a much-deserved MVP. I mean, the way he reacted to it, he was so unselfish, saying he couldn't do it without his teammates. That's a sign of a winner, but that's a sign of respect in my book because he cares more about winning than getting the reward himself. And not only that, he is the first person to get the MVP since Shaq as a center, the first center to get MVP since Shaq. I mean, good.
That's awesome. I think that's insane, and I think well-deserved. And honestly, what's crazy too is the top 2 players winning the MVP were both centers, him and Joel Embiid. But Jokic deserves it more than Joel Embiid, in my opinion. He played every single game this season, played extremely well in every single game this season, led the league in fantasy points, which is important for fantasy people like us. And honestly, he just like carried that team on his back. John Murray was pretty inconsistent for the most of the season. So Jokic was the person who really was the most consistent player on that team and the person really helping them out, you know? And yeah, it's just great, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And, of course, he was like very consistent, which is important. And I think he helped his team win. And look, he's playing well in the playoffs so far, even without
Playing
Jamal
well.
Murray.
Not well is an understatement for how he's playing.
Yeah.
The man's playing like the MVP level player that he is.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to give it to him. Even without
He's playing amazingly. I love watching that man play.
Even without Jamal Murray, I think the Nuggets are still doing very well, and I think they have a chance against the Suns. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be hard because the Suns are stacked at guard, and Ayton can play. But I think they have a legitimate chance to win that series. It's going to depend on a few things. I think they need to get Will Barton back. I think Campazzo has been solid. I think he's done everything you can ask. I think Will Barton coming back healthy is going to be the key for them to win this series.
No, yeah, of course, definitely. But yeah, it's like as much as I love Denver wanting to win though, and I want to see them win it. I honestly just don't think they have enough firepower though. Without Jamal Murray, it's just gonna be tough.
Yeah, I see it. I think it comes down to Will Barton. I think that's the difference maker there. We'll see how he can return. If he can return and be himself, I think they have a shot. But without him, I agree
too. But with a stacked team that the Suns have,
yeah,
I think if Will Barton could be himself, it's gonna be a Game 6, Game 7 series. But if not, then I don't think he'll go past Game 5 if Will Barton doesn't play the way he's supposed to.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
We'll see what happens.
I'm definitely excited for these.
I am super excited for these series. And then if the Suns do win, that next Western Conference final is gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
that is gonna be a good finals.
Good for James Jones too. If he is, as a relatively new general manager or owner, I forgot which one he was. If he could take to the finals, good for him. I'm a big James Jones fan. He played at UM, which is where I went to school, and he also played in Miami on the Heat for a while. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Chris Paul and Devin Booker, Monty Williams, and I think they got a shot at getting the Western Conference Finals. We'll see what happens. Well, that'll be all for the offhand. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Hansel.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.